You shared with me, though, you sent me this PowerPoint about compulsory cap and trade, and I thought, this is so important. How did you learn this problem, and what are we going to be doing about it? Describe the problem.
You know, I mean, you mentioned we've been following federal overreach, right? We're just trying to keep the federal government in its lane and keep it within its roles and responsibilities. And you know, I've got some Google alerts set, and it was just crazy. December 20th, I get this alert about a meeting that Center for Biological Diversity has with President Biden.
Center for Biological Diversity.
And they give him, on behalf of 2,000 to 3,000 of their friends, the plan that Biden is going to implement. And they say, these are the 10 things you're going to do as president without Congress. So we don't care about Congress.
This is December 2020, before he goes into office, the Center for Biological Diversity, which means that, you know, we're going to have good fish and good birds and things like that. Apparently that means a little more than that.
Yeah, it means you're not going to use your land, you're not going to touch the land. It means they're going to control the land. In fact, one of their big objectives, and you can look this up, it's called 30 by 30. 30 by 30 means they're going to lock up 30% of all land in the United States and in the world by 2030. And they say, as you dig deeper, that that's a stepping stone to 50 by 50. That they want to have the government control 50% of all land and water.
That is so incongruous with what the founders intended. I mean, you've been fighting with the American Lands Council. You know, hey, the federal government ought not own all of this land, and yet they're trying to take us the opposite of what the founders intended.
Yeah, think about Thomas Jefferson, right? He buys 530 million acres for $15 million, greatest land deal in history, and what does he do? He trusts people with land and liberty, and they produce the greatest prosperity the world's ever seen. And we've now come to a point, Kevin, that we're exactly the opposite. Our government is locking up land as fast as they can, and then controlling what we can do on the land. And then while they control the land, part of this whole scheme in putting together a compulsory cap and trade system is they then take the land so that they can sell the environmental services back to you if you've exceeded your greenhouse gas quota. And that's all been done by executive fiat.
And you know, I do not think the American people who voted for Joe Biden, maybe some of them, but the most of them who voted, intended for this to be the outcome. Did he tell us that this is what he was going to do?
Well, yeah, he kind of did, right? When he was campaigning, he was reading from the script of what these folks were telling him.
And nobody was paying attention.
They weren't paying attention as he was going through, but he did. I mean, on the campaign trail, he flat out said, we're going to shut off oil and gas, we're going to shut off coal, we're going to take the energy, and we're going to take those that are producing energy from hydrocarbons, so we're going to tie them up in regulatory ways. And then he even says, and if they don't, we're going to put them in jail.
He didn't say
And the
that.
people kind of laugh. He says, no, I mean it. We're going to put him in jail.
He did not say that.
No, I'm serious. You got the video. You're going to show that.
Yeah, no, well,
later,
let's roll the video.
You have to set sort of guide rails down now. So between the years 2021 and 2030, it's irreversible, the path we've set ourselves on. And one of which is doing away with any subsidies for fossil fuels, number one. Number two, holding them liable for what they have done, particularly in those cases where you're underserved neighborhoods and you know the deal, okay? And by the way, when they don't, or when they're deliberate, put them in jail. That's what I'm not joking about this. I'm not joking about this.
Not joking about this, Kevin. You know the deal. Not joking about this. And so this is part of, and this is still online. It's at climatepresident.org. And you can see the plan that they gave him in December of 2020.
So they have a plan. Has he been following it?
Yeah, pretty diligently.